Hi, this is Derek, and today let's have some fun, okay? And the way I want to do this is I want you to think about a movie that came out, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that, and it's called Groundhog Day. Hopefully you've seen it. It was a really popular movie back then, starring Bill Murray. And if you haven't seen it, I think you'll be able to follow along with what I'm talking about here. But in Groundhog Day, the premise of the movie was that Bill Murray was a reporter, and he was given this assignment to go cover Groundhog Day. Now, what ended up happening, which was what made the movie funny, was that Bill Murray absolutely hated this assignment, this job of going and covering Groundhog Day. He didn't like the people that he was covering it with, his producer and the cameraman. He really didn't care about them, and he was just miserable at this place that he had to go to. Okay, it was cold, it was snowy, it was depressing, but unfortunately he got stuck in this time loop where this was his worst day of his life, essentially, and yet somehow he got stuck in this time loop where every morning he would wake up and have to go deal with this Groundhog Day. And the movie never really explained how that happened, but it doesn't matter, because the experience of him living his worst day ever is what kind of made the movie funny, as you can imagine, with Bill Murray in it. Now, it got so bad, and he was reliving this over and over and over again so often, that it drove him to insanity, alright? And he just couldn't take it any longer. And that's what the movie was about, and if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a really great movie. But what I want you to do is think about that. Can you imagine being in a situation where every day you're living your worst day ever? I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people do, and they call it life, right? Because they get stuck in a job that they don't like doing it with people that they don't get along with, or they really don't like, and they're in a miserable place that kind of depresses them, whatever, the location, the job, whatever. And they just, every day they wake up, and they're having to go through this Monday through Friday, and they get that little reprieve Saturday and Sunday, and then they start back Monday through Friday, every day of the week, every week of the year, every year, right? That's their Groundhog Day. Maybe that's something that you experience. And as a result, unhappiness comes along, and you feel like you're one step from insanity because you just can't take this kind of life anymore, right? And maybe it's not so bad for you, but at the same time, you think it could be better. So what I want to do, though, is think about that concept of Groundhog Day and kind of flip it over, or think of it from an opposite direction. And instead of thinking about this idea of living your worst day ever over and over and over again, imagine what impact it would have on you if you could get a collection of all the things that you really love about life, that you really enjoy, and you could relive those every single day. You could craft your perfect day and relive it every single day, anytime you wanted, as much as you wanted. What kind of impact do you think that would have on you? It would help, wouldn't it? It would help you deal maybe with your day if you're stressed out, or it would just make you feel good, right? If you could relive in your mind all the great things that you love about life, that would be pretty awesome, right? Well, you can, and it's something that I call crafting your perfect day. And what I'm going to do in this video is I want to show you how to do it and why you want to do it and the benefits of doing it, okay? So you're going to need a couple of tools. You're going to need a pen and a pad of paper, and you're going to need some imagination, which is easy to come by. But it's important that as you do this exercise that you have a pen and paper. Don't try to do this exercise in your brain, alright? There's some real power in writing things down and getting it on paper. So don't just kind of forego that and think, well, I'll think about these things and that'll be fine. No, you want to write down the elements of your perfect day, as I'm going to take you through here in this exercise. Okay, so the way this works is you want to finish this particular statement, and that is, I love doing these things. I love doing these things. How would you finish that statement? What would your list look like? Okay, so after you start thinking about that question, I love doing these things, how would you answer that? And you create a list of things that you love doing. Okay, so a couple of rules that you want to keep in mind when you're creating this list is you want to focus on experiences, not stuff. Okay? Stuff isn't that important. You want to focus on the experiences that you want to have during your perfect day. Okay? Once again, not stuff. Not houses, not cars, not boats, not any of that stuff. You want to focus on the experiences that you want to have on your perfect day. Now you want to write down things that will evoke an image in your brain, a really clear image, maybe of a memory that you've had of something that you really enjoyed, or a clear image of something that you want to experience in the future. So you want it to be a visual impact in your mind, but you also want to have something that touches you emotionally, so it has an emotional effect on you. And you want to keep it short and simple. Each item on your list, you want to keep it short, but as detailed as possible without getting too far out of like running over and writing sentence after sentence after sentence. You don't want that. So short, visual, emotional, and focus on experiences, not stuff. Now how would that look like? Well, let's look at some examples of what I see as a perfect day, and you'll get some ideas for yourself, hopefully, and see how this idea of capturing your perfect day works. And then in a moment I'm going to explain to you what you do with the items on the list. So what would I do? What's number one on my list? Well, number one would be waking up refreshed in Naples, Florida. Okay, I love Naples, Florida. So that's number one on my list, waking up in Naples, Florida. Next on my list would be another item that would be really important for me, would be walking on the beach with Kathy, my wife, listening to seagulls and the ocean. So walking on the beach with Kathy, listening to seagulls in the ocean. Now so let me write down one more. Would be having a healthy breakfast of fruit, toast, and also black tea. That's right, I've got my notes here. Okay, so these are all elements of what I would consider my perfect day. If I could live my own Groundhog Day in a good way, these are all things that I would want to have included in my perfect day. Now the way that you'd want to craft this list is think about what it would be like waking up. What's the first thing you'd want to do? And then list all from the very first thing you would do in the morning to all the things that you would do throughout the day till you went to bed. Make a list of all those things, okay? And you want to be as specific as possible, as much as you can. Now what do you do with this list once you have it written down? And you don't want to get it too extensive because you don't want it to take too long to review it. But you want to have 10-15 items of really high quality things that really mean a lot to you. So after you have the list down, what do you do with it? Well, you want to spend 1 to 2 minutes, preferably in the morning if you can, and sit down with the list of your perfect day, items of your perfect day, and just review them. Go through each one and review them. And I don't want you to, the point isn't to just go through and read the letters, or read the words. That doesn't do any good whatsoever. But as you get to each item, I want you to think about that particular item, get a picture in your mind of what that would be like, and a feeling. Experience it. Really live it in your mind, in your mind's eye. Visualize it and feel it. So let me give you an example. Waking up refreshed in Naples, Florida. Thinking about that, when I think about that, I think about what the day looks like, the sun coming through the blinds. I think about what my bedroom looks like, what time of the day it is. what sounds I hear, what I smell, whether or not breakfast is cooking or anything else like that. And I see that. I see it as clearly as I possibly can, but I not only see it, but I feel what it would feel like. Same thing with walking on the beach with Kathy and listening to seagulls and the ocean. What does that look like in my mind? I have a clear picture of walking on the beach, feeling the sand on my feet, hearing the ocean, hearing the seagulls making their noises in the background, and I have a real clear picture of that, but I also know what it feels like. I feel it and I experience it without even having to be there, obviously. But it's a real intense experience for me for 5 to 10 seconds. And then I move on to the next item. And you'll find that with 10 or 15 items, it's not going to take you that long to go through the entire list. And you'll want to do this, like I said, at least once a day. Experience your perfect day with the items on your list. Feel the emotions, see the images, and live it in your mind. Now, why do this? What's the benefit? Well, obviously there's several benefits, but first of all, it's a great way to kind of get away from it all. If you're all stressed out and having a bad day, you can go and live your perfect day and step away from reality for 1 or 2 minutes and experience something that's really great and make you feel better. But another thing is that if you review this enough and do it consistently enough, you're burning in your mind a clear picture of the outcome that you want, your perfect day, the elements that make up your perfect day. And not saying that you'll achieve all those elements, but when you're thinking about it constantly and you see it and it gets clear in your mind and your body, this vision of your perfect day, and then what it starts doing is it starts affecting your thinking. It starts affecting, after it starts affecting your thinking, it starts affecting your decisions that you make. And then after it starts affecting your decisions, it starts affecting the actions that you take. And that's a good thing, because you want to get as close to living your perfect day as you possibly can, whatever that perfect day may look like. For people, it's different. It may mean living out in the jungle. Who knows? It could be doing something, living in Naples, Florida, doing something there, working at home, whatever it may be. Your day is different than somebody else's. But nonetheless, if you have a clear picture of what it looks like, and you keep focused on that, and you live it every single day, it will start affecting the things that you do and the results that you get, so you can get your life more in tune with that picture and that outcome that you want of your perfect day. Okay, so have some fun with this. Create a list and get clear about those items on the list. Review it every single day for at least 1 or 2 minutes, and review it with visual and emotional intensity. Alright, if you do that, you'll see some great results as a result. Okay, so that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.